the question that was really, motivating me when I started this book was, which happened before Roe was overturned, was, really why are we obsessed with Roe? Like, why Roe in a way? Because as you probably know, Roe has been widely criticized by scholars kind of across the ideological spectrum. Even before the Supreme Court formally overruled it this summer, there were other precedents on abortion that had superseded it. It had never really meant real-world abortion access, and yet there was this kind of cultural fixation on Roe. And so when I set out to kind of understand what that was about, and I think that's something I hadn't really tackled before. And I think as importantly as I was writing the book, I realized that the story of this kind of national obsession with Roe was really not a story about the Supreme Court. It was a story about lots of people outside of the court who projected these meanings onto Roe that the justices probably never would have imagined and much less countenanced. And so at a time when ultimately, the book was being completed and published after Roe was erased, right? The properly speaking, the right to choose abortion recognized by the Supreme Court is no more. It also became an opportunity to meditate on kind of where our rights come from, where historically they've come from, but also where they will come from going forward. And I think we've been inclined to see Roe as a story about how our rights come from the federal courts. But when you notice how much even our ideas of Roe have morphed and have been shaped by processes outside of the federal courts, whether that's in state legislatures and grassroots movements and state courts even, then I think you have a much more complicated picture of what our rights are and where they come from.